This year is going to be a big one for Final Fantasy fans all across the world. It is the 35th year anniversary of Final Fantasy, the entire series as a whole. The 25th year anniversary of Final Fantasy VII is also this year. And we have an event for it next month in June, which will more than likely reveal Ever Crisis details with a release date. And more Final Fantasy VII related titles that we've yet to hear of, but hopefully we find out finally what the hell Labyrinth, Striker, and Final Bar Line actually are. But hopefully we get a teaser of Remake Part 2. And last but not least, this week we have an animated series for Final Fantasy IX finally being revealed at a Las Vegas licensing expo, which actually starts today. The biggest thing about all of these to me is the Final Fantasy IX animated show, and the reason for that is going all the way back to the NVIDIA GeForce Now leaks, which shocked the internet with saying Final Fantasy IX Remake is underway. Many wrote that list off as a fake, but ever since that list came out, we've been seeing lots of titles that were rumored to be in the works actually come out or have been announced to being released. From Final Fantasy VII Remake on PC, appearing through the Epic Games Store, Chrono Cross Remastered, which came out, Kingdom Hearts 4, and a new Tomb Raider game, which were both announced. This list is looking better and better every day. Still fingers crossed for Final Fantasy Tactics. I mean, June is their 25th year anniversary, but we're still not hearing nothing about it at the moment, unfortunately. Drop a like on this video if you're excited for all these crazy things coming with Final Fantasy's anniversaries this year. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything, because a lot of stuff is happening right now, guys. You don't want to miss out on any of it, and I'll have it all covered for you all. Let's raise this bar above 50%. We still have no official confirmation of a Final Fantasy IX remake, but I can guarantee you that we're getting something this year, and it's in relation to the animated series getting its showcase this week. And of course, Final Fantasy having its 35th year anniversary. Square Enix has been taking lots of L's recently, but their most recent statement was well received by many fans around the world. They have stated that this year, with the 35th year anniversary of Final Fantasy, they'll be putting a big focus and emphasis on promoting what they have planned for it, with new releases, events, and merchandise. Essentially, it's going to be a big focus on Final Fantasy for 2022 and 2023. We have Final Fantasy 16 on the horizon, a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 to look out for, and a Final Fantasy IX Remake in the works, with an animated series to be showcased this week. Well, technically maybe today. And of course, Ever Crisis, the Final Fantasy VII compilation title mobile game. But they've also stated that they will not be trying to imitate Western developers, but instead will be focusing on their Japanese elements, which they know they're good at. And we all agree. We would love to see more JRPGs and less NFTs. Night Sky Prince brought up a really good point in comparison with The Last of Us Remake, which I and everyone else agrees is a pointless and not needed remake at all. This remake for The Last of Us is most likely going to tie into the HBO TV show of The Last of Us currently in development. The marketing behind a Final Fantasy IX TV show to gain interest in new fans, and then eventually the reveal of a Final Fantasy IX remake game to hype those up for it, bring in new fans and veterans into the fold to purchase it. It really seems to be the strategy Square Enix is going forward with, although I do hope Square realizes that they don't need a title to have a movie or extra media before it gets a remake. I mean, it took them forever to sign off on a Final Fantasy VII remake, but this was after they released an anime, a movie, many spin-off titles, and books, all for the compilation. Hopefully, with Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy VI remakes, if they ever decide to remake those, they don't need to have a movie or TV show to get it done. Please. We just want the games. I'm excited for the Final Fantasy IX extended love we're getting this year, but with it being a 35th year anniversary of Final Fantasy in general, I can't help but wonder, what else are we going to be getting? Because if you look at the 35th anniversary website, under the tragedy that is Chocobo GP and Chaos Fister Simulator, where it says new titles, they have much more left to showcase to us. Square Enix seems to be bringing back RPGs of old, so I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Which Squaresoft RPGs from back in the day would you love to see remade? Xenogears? Vagrant Story? Parasite Eve? Please, come on, I'm dying, man. Tomorrow, we are going to have Very Finny on the podcast. She is a content creator who loves Final Fantasy and Capcom. But more so than that, she's very funny. Get it? And a chill person. Make sure you guys go follow her on all her socials, pinned below. And stay tuned for that, because it's going to be a fun one. Spoiler alert, she's the biggest Sid Highwind fan, and I think that's absolutely dope. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Final Fantasy videos are coming your way, and you won't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.